unfortunately, there's going to be some changes at No Jumper. It seems like they're going to get fired. Seems like a bunch of these kids, a bunch of these hosts for the Tuesday show, is it Tuesday? No, Thursday show, whatever the show is, whatever the version of the show is. But it seems like they're cutting back some of the hours. So Adam 22 is confusing. So it feels like that fight he took with Jason Love was definitely for the money. He definitely took that fight with Jason Love for the check, because he's making some cuts. He's pulling back and rescinding people's contracts, not giving them more hours, you know, telling them they can't do more than 2 shows or whatever else it may be. So because as you guys know, No Jumper has like a schedule from Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, I think, live shows, and they have different people doing the shows on each day. And usually, if I'm not mistaken, how it works is that depending on, you know, how you are, if you're a good presenter, if you work out with a guest, you might be on like more than 2 shows throughout the week. But there's usually a daily show that they do, No Jumper News, that if you're on it all the time, you obviously get paid for each appearance, and plus whatever show you do once every week or whatever it may be. So it can basically add up, and you can make some decent money, I'm assuming, right? Because you're doing No Jumper News every day, Monday to Friday, and you're also doing whatever show you're doing on top of it. So you may be working like 6 times a week at No Jumper, getting your little appearance fee. So it does definitely add up in the end. But it seems like Adam 22 is cutting, you know, is cutting back and trying to save some money. So it's also making me think that maybe that fight with Jason Love was a definitely money grab because he needed it, because clearly, you know, they're not able to meet payroll or whatever else going forward. But yeah, it looks like there's some changes afoot at No Jumper. Let's press play.
Anyways, what's up, man? What's going on? I feel like it's been a minute since we all been with each other.
I don't know if you got the memo, but let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Are we talking about that?
All right, what happened?
I'm talking about it.
What happened?
Okay.
I'm talking about it.
Go.
So this is now No Jumper News.
Yeah.
This is a Thursday installment.
I seen that in the group text.
What does that mean? I feel like Josh was just very vague when he threw that out. And it's like, are we demoted somehow?
That means you niggas getting less money.
Yeah.
Well, that's another.
Let's just like, hold on now, buddy.
Let's doing 5 shows a week. Hold on, and don't mess with him.
No, well, beyond.
This includes me.
Lush needs the money as well. When you're on drugs and you need to, you know what I mean? You need that constant income coming in so you can re-up. Lush needs the money. He can't go without that shit. Most of us need money, don't get me wrong. But when you're in the throngs of addiction, you're probably thinking of the money and needing the money more because you need the fix.
Beyond beyond possible ramifications of that degree, which I actually was not planning on discussing, but I will say that it's kind of odd that there wasn't more discussion or input involving us, in my opinion, and especially myself when I was thrust in the position of somewhat trying to apparently commandeer this show, because
After the untimely leave of Flacco.
well, okay, so
Departure.
Flacco, you feel me, on his, you know, fitness journey hiatus.
So Flacco left out of the blue, it seems like. And I don't know why he left specifically, whether it's to do with all the beefs he was involved with, if it was whether to do with the fact that his channel itself makes a lot more money than No Jumper does, or maybe as much as No Jumper does, and he gets to keep it all for himself. I'm not too sure. But he kind of left out of the blue, it felt like, because I felt like for no long time, Project Flacco was like one of the main hosts of No Jumper, and he was holding it down. He was enjoying having 2 incomes. He was getting to be an integral part of the LA sort of like, you know, scene in terms of a commentator, host type of person. But now it seems like he's really trying to focus more on his own content, which makes sense again because his channel is really popular and shit. But yeah, it kind of came out of the blue. I don't think there's ever an explanation for it really. He kind of comes here and there. He might do a video appearance, but he's not really a main guest or host anymore on No Jumper.
He looks significantly different. I'm just playing.
I was gonna say.
No, yeah, no. Shouts to Flacco. Shouts to Flacco. You feel me? He doing his thing. And at a certain point, like, we're dialoguing about the show pretty regularly, and like I'm like, Flock, what's up? And he's like, Lush, this is your shit now, bro. This is your, and like he essentially like put it in my hands.
How can it be in your hands when you're barely alive? You're barely awake. You're always high. Not even high. You're strung out. How can? No wonder Adam 22 is, you know, is cutting people's hours and stuff. If one of your main hosts is Lush, if I'm adding 22, I'm cutting your hours too. If I'm having to rely on Lush to be the one holding the fort or holding things together, I don't have a good network. I don't have a good platform. I don't have a good channel. If Lush is the main character, he's obviously the main character because he's, knowledgeable of hip hop and shit, has good takes for the most part. But if that person is one of your main host, you have to be worried. You maybe have to shake things up a little bit. You can't be having Lush be your marquee presenter and stuff because he's not reliable. He's obviously in the throes of addiction himself at the moment. He seems to indulge a lot of those type of things. I don't know. I personally wouldn't go for him as being my main star.
But I don't know how.
No, did he?
Yes, did he?
That was so
I
weird.
gripped him.
Bro, it's so weird today.
Put it in my hands was
You're
crazy.
so weird.
I just like why not?
Flagrant.
You feel me? Like,
Go
why?
ahead.
Okay, but yeah.
And so I just didn't really. I'm like, okay, let me try to do the most of what I can in this scenario without really having too much preemptive dialogue or real instruction or I'm like, all right, I got this, and I felt like the main thing is, so I want to make something clear. As of now, what we've been told, is they want to continue this ensemble, you feel me?
Yeah.
Okay.
For this day of the news, which I think is great.
Well, he said, for now.
For now.
Yeah, I think that was the crazy part.
But
I mean, obviously, this show started with the news. When I first came on the show, we were doing the news.
no, I think you're mistaken because the No Jumpers show has been on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the past.
I mean, I swear we were doing the news when I first came
for
here.
the past
We were doing the
22
news.
months.
But I mean, I don't think
because I've been on it.
But personally,
Honestly, Tate, that's kind of the point. Is this show doesn't really feel any different than the news.
that's what I'm saying.
I personally disagree with that.
Well, we don't get to pick the topics. If
Well,
we
you
knew it
guys
was a
also
show.
are a pretty inconsistent cast. We have not had.
Josh in the background, just let the fucking host discuss this amongst themselves. Why is Josh in here trying to interject as a manager or whatever? Let them have their little fucking on-air gossip, whatever they're gonna talk about the thing. Why is he trying to clarify things for? Let clarify to him after the show. Again, this is, Adam 22 likes to talk about it's a lot of this is bad podcasting. Why is he interjecting, trying to clarify things? Let them talk, let them come up with their theories, justifications, their reasonings, whatever it may be. Make a show of it, and then you can clarify things at the end off camera if need be. But I don't think this is necessary. If anything, just deciding to kind of stick his nose in and clarify things is probably one of those sort of subconscious things that he's doing, because he knows full well that half of these people, if not most of these people, are going to be fired by the end of the month or something. That's the truth of the reality.
Been able to hold down a consistent cast on the show. Lush, as much as you love yourself and want to continue to glaze yourself, I think you've proven that you don't always do the best. You don't always do the best leading a podcast.
That's a good point though, because he's barely awake. But to be fair to Lush, the whole entire platform's full of junkies and stuff. Who's to mention in the stream chat? Big up WCK Glow. The whole platform's full of junkies. That's why it's always really funny whenever Adam 22 will ban somebody for fighting, ban somebody for brandishing a gun, ban somebody for pushing, for spitting, for getting too aggressive and whatever. This platform's built on that, right? This platform's built on gang culture, on beef and all that malarkey and craziness and debauchery and just whatever. So to kind of look at Lush and say, oh, you don't lead podcast well because you're always so fucked up. Everyone in that studio is fucked up, maybe with the exception of Tam. I think everyone's on some level of drugs, on some version of a drug. I think that girl might be the only person who isn't on one. At any given moment, everyone in that building is on some drug. So to kind of point the fingers at Lush and say, oh, you're not leading the podcast well because you're too fucked up. It's like, brother, everybody here is fucked up. That's the whole point of people working here. They want to work there so they can get fucked up, They want to work at No Jumper so they can eat on mic. They can eat in front of the camera, eat in front of the microphone so that they can sip their leans, pop their perks and shit on cam, get into arguments, fight each other, hug each other, fight each other. That's the whole point of live working there. Like
That's a matter of opinion.
I mean, the numbers would reflect that, right?
Well,
When
I
Adam
would
wasn't
say,
here, how did you?
I would like to
Ouch.
rebuttal this. I would
Ouch.
say the numbers do reflect that, especially when you look at certain things, such as the fact that, oh, by the way, randomly, the show was 2 hours earlier. We ain't even finna tell the fans, though. We ain't even finna make an announcement, but the show 2 hours earlier, like, it's not a problem for us to show up 2 hours earlier, but they don't even know. The people that would be inclined to watch, that are engaged with the chemistry of this ensemble, you feel me, that was curated specifically for this. So to me, it's like, all right, I think that there's more to it than that, and I would have personally liked to have had some input, although at the end of the day, it don't matter.
it's not gonna happen though, man. You work for Adam 22, you work for No Jumper. You should know by now. Lush has been around. I think Lush has seen already a couple of firings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure Lush has seen already his handful of firings. He should know already what to look for when firing time is happening. For me, it feels obvious that they're gonna fire some host. It feels very obvious.
I'm grateful to be here. I'm just a player on the team.
But Adam 22 is not gonna consult you. He's not gonna sit you down and have a conversation. Josh has already given you hints of what's going on. The fact that he's sticking his nose in and butting in and, you know, clarifying things, I think is a guilty conscience, because he knows he's gonna have to fire some of these people. But I don't think it's, you know, it shouldn't come as a surprise, basically.
If you feel me, it is what it is. But however, would I have preferred to have some type of like dialogue? Yeah, I feel like that would have been like beyond like professional. I think it would have been courteous.
We're gonna talk about having a dialogue to the dude who's inviting people here and not telling anybody.
Professional, you know, it would have been professional. The whole platforms are professional. Nothing that No Jumper do is professional. Nothing. Maybe with the exception of paying people. Maybe with the exception of like the way they file their invoices. Maybe the intros and the outros of their show. Maybe that's the only thing that's somewhat professional, right? But everything else about the show, everything else about this fucking channel is not fucking professional. There's nothing about it that's fucking professional. Nothing about it that's fucking professional. And I love that, you know, Josh is calling him out for bringing randoms to the show, but you know, bless Lush. As much as I would imagine, if you work there and you're the leader and you're seeing this guy bringing fucking random stragglers along and crackheads and stuff to the show, it might make you a bit annoyed. Deep down, he's doing it because he wants to make the show better, you know? He's not doing it because he's being crazy. He's doing it because he thinks these crazy people might make the show, might make the platform, the channel better. It might make it more fun. So cut him a break. Cut him some slack.
We're talking about having conversations with somebody who is on top of his shit.
You're talking about having a dialogue with somebody that you dialogue with on a daily basis, that you know shows up on time despite whatever.
Not all the time.
Whatever.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Hey, in this industry, I would say, as far as like, I'm not trying to compare myself to others, but I say I'm the generous way to put it is right on par with everybody else.
That's a crazy low bar to set yourself in it. Amongst in this industry, amongst other crackheads, I'm not as bad as I'm the same level as other crackheads. I'm not any worse or any better, but I'm just as the same. In industry standard crackhead media presenter etiquette, I guess. Big up, run it up. Ketamino is fucking hilarious. That's a good DJ name, actually. I might have to use that. Ketamino. Have you indulged in the baggy lately? No, not lately, but may do tomorrow. Not latently, but may do tomorrow. We may have to slip out the little. You never know. But I've got so much to do. You know, I've got so many streams to do, so many things to record for Patreon and shit. I may just like sack it off until the end of the month.
You feel me? And that's a very political.
That's a pretty
way
low bar.
Beyond a low bar, it's not true, because I actually show up significantly earlier than the majority of people if you really look on it on average. But
you live here,
I ain't trying to like to suck my own dick or nothing like that. It's not even about me, because I'm straight over here. You feel me? Like, you know that, bro. Like you're my boss, right? So like you.
Ill. Relax, man. Anyway, being so happy and glad. The people that it hurts the most when they get fired are people like Lush. People who are so quick to kind of like acquiesce and defer and go out their way to call somebody their boss and act like they're less. I mean, that whole kind of cowering type of like being the loyal soldier, teacher's pet type of thing. It doesn't normally work. If there's cuts to be made, there's cuts to be made. No matter how much you fucking are the teacher's pet, it's not going to help you if they want to make cuts and save money. You know what I mean? The quickest way to save money in the business is to cut, basically employees and fire people and save money on salary. So if they're gonna have to make cuts, you're still gonna go. It doesn't matter how much you licked Adam 22's ass, doesn't matter how much you're licking fucking Josh's ass right now, even though he's talking to you like shit, really, it's not gonna save you from being cut.
Like, you know what time it is. I'm straight, but I care about this show. I care about this dynamic, and I believe in it. And I think that it's more than just a news segment. That's my opinion. I understand the branding of the No Jumper show, so we gonna have to prove to motherfuckers, because to be honest.
Yo, big up, run it up. Yeah, I'm on day 4 of no weed, feel healthy but sucks to sleep because I keep dreaming. Yeah, that's the best thing about smoking. You just conk out, you wake up the next day and it's the next day. But yeah, I think in general, people should just stay away from drugs. I think No Jumper is a good example of it. It should be a good warning for most people. I think indulging in a lifestyle where you're always doing drugs, I think it's more dangerous for these guys because their job kind of requires them to be fucked up. Part of the No Jumper brand, part of being involved in LA hip hop and that industry and being around that scene, entertainment industry, Hollywood, all this malarkey is to kind of be fucked up. So, it's part of the job, it's part of your law, it's part of being there, all this malarkey, But so it's kind of harder for them to kick it and to not do it. But I think if you do have a choice, if you do have an option, if you have the opportunity to not do anything and not do any drugs, I think it's best to not do. Even alcohol, like, just don't do anything. It's not worth it really in the long, in the long run. Lush is probably a good example of it. He looks like, look at the difference between Lush and Almighty Suspect. Look how good Almighty Suspect looks after like 6 months of just not doing drugs, and look how bad on the daily Lush looks, and the way he sounds. He's even got that druggy voice. If you know, if you've done drugs yourself, you know what it's like. He's even got that voice of somebody that does too much. But I think it's in general, most of us should just stay away from it. It's not good. I don't encourage anyone to do it. I think if you're not doing it, just stay away from it because it's not, long term, it's a bit shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Our numbers last week were better than other news segments that were 2 hours later and announced. Type beat. So you feel me? So we finna see something and prove y'all wrong, and then you feel me?
I mean, I also done different with the news and just us having a Thursday show. To be honest, I mean, we still be talking about topics. Obviously, we go into our own little conversations.
But what's the difference from like Tuesday and the news shows outside of just Adam being on there? Does Flocko also do the topics for that show, or they kind of just get on and talk about what they want?
The Tuesday show is significantly different.
What do they talk about? Like, I don't know who.
Bro, you don't watch it? You've never seen it.
I mean, she asked you a question.
Yeah,
That's
I'm saying, like, how does it work? Do y'all talk about?
Lush getting super defensive, man, brother. If one person gets fired, you're all getting fired. Let's just be real. Adam 22's shown that already. Adam 22's shown he has an ability to, like, when it comes down to it, he's going to make sure he keeps No Jumper ticking by firing all of you and getting some new people to replace them, put them on lower wages and shit, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I love how defensive Lush is getting with this thing. Like that's his baby. Don't get me wrong. No Jumper's probably given Lush a lot. It's been probably a really big help in his life and allowed him to be evolved back into hip hop again and put his face out there and blah, 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 blah. But you have to know when you work for Adam 22, it's not going to be forever, Eventually, the party's going to end.
Other topics before you just come here and whatever Adam wants to talk about, we kind of just go off of it. Because that's what happened the 2 times I was on the Tuesday show. It's like, he just said random stuff and we kind of tried to build off of that.
Christ.
I mean, like, I would say at this point, the way the cast is on the Tuesday show is pretty dialed in, and there's like rapport and storylines and internal things that kind of like keep the Tuesday show like it's a little bit more dialed in than it was at that time, to be honest with you.
When I was okay.
Yeah. So I would say that it is a lot more than just it's the rapport that the individuals have.
So it's
like
but that still doesn't explain the difference of that from a news show. Like, what is the difference?
Well, because it's not just talking about news, because we'll literally like talk about a random subject like fucking
porn.
Oh, like when was the last time you were at the free clinic for like 45 minutes? You know what I mean? Like, and then like Whack will call in, and then it'll be some whole other shit. And it's
and I feel like when we
not Whack calling in. That's not like any other show on the No Jumper, innit? That's not like any other show on No Jumper when Whack randomly calls in. God Almighty.
Do that, motherfucker. Start saying get to the topics.
Oh, I heard. By the way, I heard. By the way, Academics' chat has banned Academics from letting Whack 100 to call in on the stream. Academics' live stream hates Whack. They hate it when Whack gets on stream with Academics, calls in and starts like shouting and whatever, talking about fucking somebody snitched. I've got the paperwork, all this malarkey, it's the content. I've heard, you know, Academics' fans have made it very clear to them that they do not want Whack 100 to call in again the show. Like, please, we've had enough of the guy. So I wonder when that will happen with No Jumper. They'll have to reach a moment where they're like, enough of these fucking Whack phone calls, man.
Well, yeah. So if we're really looking at it, there's the biggest difference with the Tuesday show and then other previous No Jumper shows and perhaps future No Jumper shows, as Adam has alluded to, is that the time slot. Noon earlier in the day is like news time type shit. Later in the day, you feel me, 4 p.m. that's like
prime time.
Yeah, that's like variety.
People are off work or going to, or in their car going home. Yeah. You feel me?
So what is the news for? Is the news just like something
a lunch break
for the fans, like just, and it doesn't necessarily matter who's on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it I think this ain't no difference. Like, us doing the news is just like us doing topics on our regular Thursday show.
They know they're about to get fired, innit? They know they're about to get fired, man. Oh, see, bless these guys, man. Bless these guys, man. All this bickering and arguing and, you know, debating and shit ain't gonna do nothing, man. They're gonna get fired. Adam 22 or No Jumpers basically broke. It's obvious. Like, the fight Adam 22 took with Jason Love, the fact that he was so unprepared, the fact that he knew he would look so embarrassing and he would probably forever ruin his reputation and would make people look at him like he's a fucking buster. He took that risk because he needed the money. You know, no one will take a risk like that of looking that terrible, of embarrassing yourself, your family name, your actual family. No one will take that risk without the internal knowledge that they've kind of, you know, done something selfless for other people here by doing X, Y, and Z. I don't think that was the case. I think he actually needed this money super bad, which is why we got what we got. But yeah, all these guys are probably going to get fired very close, if not already.
We do have a list of topics that we go through. We do
very soon already.
Have conversations about them. Sometimes we do stray off and start talking about our regular stuff. But at the end of the day, we're still going through a basis of topics.
Tay, you right before the show started, one of the first things you said was like, "Oh, I feel like we ain't been around each other."
We ain't been around each other.
Okay, and the reason why you felt that is because we have a dynamic together. We've built a camaraderie together, and that's what makes a show what it is. You know, like we could call it whatever. You're right. Ultimately, it is the same shit. But I feel like this show and what it offers, being an alternative to the Tuesday show, where at the end of the day, yes, Tim is actually correct. Like, it is Adam's show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what whatever he dictates. This is a different environment. This is people that Adam believes in that he's putting together. And like, this is a whole potentially different thing. The same way at the end of the day which became, you feel me, Figmunity and all that.
Well, my question is this though: what is the problem with it being a new show?
Because that just seems like, from what they're saying now, it seems like that's less valued here at No Jumper. That's
but that's what they saying. But we just got to make it more valuable. We just got to do our shit.
Yeah.
But how, if the structure is we just going over the topics all that?
But think about it, Tam. When we come here, right? Don't we already have topics that we're going to talk about?
Yes, there's always going to be, obviously.
I feel like Tam is right, because once you call it the news, you're now delegated to smaller guidelines of what you can and can't do, because it's the news. It's no longer a show. So if we was already getting stopped going on tantrums, there's definitely not any tantrums now, because it's the news.
I mean, you guys are going on these tangents regardless.
Exactly. I'm about to say, we're going to do it regardless.
It depends on, we on the news, nigga gonna get them.
Josh is a bit sassy, isn't it? Josh is a little bit sassy, innit? Josh is a little bit sassy.
Text like, hey, or somebody gonna walk behind here like, hey, let's get to the topics. And I feel like on the show, we should have more room to be able to just talk.
Okay. Can we do a poll?
But is there a difference in requirements though? Like,
I think so. Absolutely. I think so.
Essentially, no.
I'm lost, bro.
So. Like,
I'm so lost.
I don't get how it's like, I don't get like what you don't see about what I explained. I feel like
I just don't get it, bro. Maybe because I just like really don't care.
All right, then, then say that.
But I mean, honestly, like at the end of the day, listen. At the end of the day, if it's us at the table, which is the same cast, I don't care what we're talking about as long as it's us. This is a thing that the people want to see when we do the Thursday show. It's these people.
Anyway, they're gonna get fired soon. They're all gonna get fired very, very soon.